And I am very pleased to introduce our next speaker, Mayor Michael O'Connor from the City of Frederick. We're very pleased that we have a strong partner in the City of Frederick on this work and that we've been able to do the joint resolution, and we're seeing strong partnerships as we work towards these goals together. So I welcome Mayor O'Connor.
Thank you, County Executive Fitzwater. We're equally pleased in the City of Frederick to have a strong partner in Frederick County with the work that we do every day. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the presence of Alderwoman Katie Nash, who is with us today, and Tracy Coleman, who is our Deputy Director of Operations and Engineering in the City of Frederick, a key component of the work that we do in this area of climate. Thank you very much to Mobilize Frederick for hosting this inaugural summit. These are incredibly important conversations. I'm deeply appreciative of the work of our partners at Mobilize Frederick. Your commitment on the ground level is critical to building a more thriving, equitable, and sustainable community. This grassroots work is where I believe the most progress on the climate emergency we are confronting is going to be made. The climate crisis is serious, and it is inarguable. It should not take another massive forest fire in California or another hurricane that causes billions of dollars in damage or another extreme heat wave such as the one in Canada in 2021, or as we've seen in Frederick, another 100-year flood that didn't wait 100 years to come again for us to know that the climate has changed. These extreme weather events are becoming more common, they are lasting longer, and they are more intense. When I took office in 2017, I set out with the community to set a vision for what the City of Frederick wants to be. That is our Community 2030 strategic plan. I was gratified to have a resident at one of our recent mayor and board meetings use some of the words in talking about a related issue, that Frederick aspires to be nationally recognized, sustainable, vibrant, progressive, and welcoming. That related issue, by the way, was the decision by the City of Frederick to ban, as of July 1st, 2024, the use of single-use plastics at the point of sale in the City of Frederick. So I'm proud of the work that we've done to live up to those words, but know that that work must continue. Cities, counties, and states are going to be where the most ground on the climate crisis can be gained. With more than half of the world's population, cities have an extraordinary responsibility in this effort. And all it takes are a series of relatively small choices, and we can chip away at the problem and make important progress. As air pollution continues to be a grave and growing issue, we must be champions of better urban air quality. Cities have an enormous climate footprint, consuming more than 2/3 of the world's energy and accounting for more than 70% of global CO2 emissions. Government organizations across the country have committed to reducing greenhouse gases by 50% by 2030, a goal shared by Mobilize Frederick, Frederick County, Frederick City, as well as the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, our regional coalition. The choices that will be made on urban infrastructure in the coming decades on construction, housing, energy efficiency, power generation, and transportation will have tremendous influence on the emissions curve. In the City of Frederick, we review every action we take as an opportunity to take a small bite out of the larger problem. In transportation planning, we continue to find opportunities to build a multimodal transportation system because we know that one of the biggest ways we're going to reduce carbon emissions is to reduce single vehicle occupancy trips. And to do that, we want to build communities in ways that people can get to everything they need without having to hop in a car. Increased bike lanes, shared use paths, bus lanes, all opportunities we are actively pursuing to reduce the number of cars on the road. If we can't take all of the cars off the road, then we know we have to make them more efficient. Electric vehicles are becoming more and more common, and to be a city that encourages electric vehicle usage, we must build the infrastructure to support them. So we are in the process of signing a contract to add electric vehicle charging stations to all of our parking garages in the City of Frederick, as well as to some other parking areas throughout the city. We also know that one of the biggest sources of emissions in our cities is food. The EPA estimates that each year U.S. food loss and waste embodies 170 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent greenhouse gas emissions, equal to the annual CO2 emissions of 42 coal-fired power plants. Last year, we launched a pilot residential composting program that the city pays for with the aim to grow the program to eventually pay for itself with a reduction of food waste going to our landfill and the resulting emissions. I hope everyone in this room, whether you live in the city or not, will take advantage of the opportunities that composting has to offer. One of our largest projects happening in the city of Frederick right now is a new headquarters for our Frederick Police Department, and I'm excited about the project's inclusion of $1.7 million solar canopy on this site. This continues efforts to create energy-efficient buildings in the city of Frederick. These are just a few of the ways the city is working to address the climate crisis, but it is only a start. There's much more work to be done. We're also doing stream restoration, building audits, streetlight retrofits. The list goes on and on. I often tout the work of our public safety workers, like police officers, firefighters, healthcare workers, teachers, as first responders. The first responders in many of the most critical needs we experience in our community on a daily basis. But in the fight against the climate emergency, we are the first responders, each one of us. I know each of you are willing to join us in that fight by making the small choices every day that add up to big results. Thank you for joining us in this effort. Thank you.